So we're about 40 minutes into the European session and markets have opened sharply lower following a sea of red we saw across Asian markets. Hong Kong down by about 3.5%, Australia down nearly 3%, and Japan down nearly 2%. To put that into context, it's quite rare that we see a down day of more than 1%. So some really heavy selling today. And the pain, unsurprisingly, is being felt most acutely in the Russian market, with the ruble hitting a record low against the dollar and the MOEX, which is Russia's equity index, slumping around 30%. So that's a record as well. And now the Bank of Russia has decided to ban short selling, so borrowing stock in order to bet on its downside. So that hopefully will limit some of the downside. But we are also seeing investors flock to safe haven assets like gold and silver in order to try to protect their wealth from the turmoil.
Right, and European and Russia are very interconnected when it comes to energy. What's happening and likely to happen in the near future on that front?
Well, we're seeing European gas prices surge by about 25% today. Brent crude soaring more than 6%, pushing above this key psychological $100 a barrel mark for the first time since 2014 in the last few hours, of course, in response to Russia ordering troops into Ukraine. But it looks as though there are real concerns about the outlook for supply within the energy markets, which is why we're seeing prices rally today. And the expectations is that prices could potentially go higher if these tensions escalate further.
So, what's the impact on sanctions going to be on all of this?
Well, we've already had severe international condemnation from the US, from the UK, Japan, European other countries, Canada, lots of governments around the world discussing ways to punish Russia through sanctions, possibly in some kind of coordinated effort. We know that President Biden has already announced sanctions on the key pipeline, the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which keeps facing delay after delay and has recently been postponed. So that's again adding to those supply pressures in the energy complex. And there's also been discussion about potentially cutting Russia off from the so-called SWIFT network, which is a network connecting financial institutions around the world. But the risk is that that certainly would hurt Russia, but it could also hurt other economies too. And in the UK, Boris Johnson is holding an emergency meeting right now. He says he wants the next round of sanctions to really bite. He said that yesterday. Obviously, the actions and the developments overnight are only going to strengthen his resolve and other governments' resolve as well.